Back to it. We are in Wednesday's Times now, and a strong percentage for a less strong standing in the States, Leo.
Yeah, so 80% of Americans say the nation is out of control. I mean, that's a huge number, a huge proportion. And this comes, just a week before the midterm elections that, could be very decisive for Joe Biden, who's, obviously overseen, pretty terrible economics. But, the thing that's putting people off the voting Republican at the moment is the fact that they've sort of introduced a de facto ban on abortion in a lot of places.
Right.
But yeah, almost all Republican voters said that America is in chaos, and a large majority of independents, 88% of independents, agree. And it's interesting, the split, the concerns of Democrats and Republicans are very different. So Democrats are horrified by, they're worried about democracy. They're horrified by the large number of Republicans who refuse to accept the result of the 2020 election. Yep. Whereas Republicans are worried about the economy. They're looking at the high petrol prices and mortgage rates and blame Biden for 8.2% inflation. So yeah, this could be very interesting. I mean, Biden, he came in and he really, apart from all the economic stuff, he's really sort of aligned himself with the radical left of the party. He's gone, full bore for, supporting riots and critical race theory and the gender ideology.
Law and order's taken a hit in Democrat cities as well. That makes a big difference.
It really has.
That's part of the same process. Arguably, the Democratic Party has been taken over by those of the far left.
Yeah.
The support, for instance, of the Black Lives Matter, the defund the police movement, all of these things massively undermine what was perceived to be the established law and order of those cities.
It's interesting.
Stop people voting Democrat.
Yeah. Because if you look at Biden's campaigning for presidency initially in 2020, the whole point was we can reunite the country. Which Donald Trump has proved enormously divisive.
He's failed to do that.
Utterly failed.
Absolutely.
It is interesting what you mentioned with the Roe v. Wade, with the Supreme Court deciding that Roe v. Wade was struck out as unconstitutional. What that did was devolve the right to determine abortion policy to the states.
Yeah.
If that means that people then don't vote Republican because they want their state to continue to offer, that would be a bit of an own goal, wouldn't it? Because the whole point of loading the Supreme Court was to overthrow Roe v. Wade, But if you devolve, I don't know whether that'll happen. But I think always with British politics as well, people fail to take into account the lag. The reality is inflation was baked in by the time that Biden took office. I wouldn't blame him for that. To be honest, that was baked in by the...
You get blamed if your hands are on the wheel at the time. It's the same with Labour in 2008, and of course it was the same with when we dropped out of the ERM. I mean, these are just events, aren't they? And they happen. But whoever is in government at the time, of course, gets beaten up for it.
But out of control, that is like an apocalyptic term, isn't it? I don't think we ever get polled on that in this country, do we?
Yeah, difference in surveys can be suggestive, of course.
They can.
Is the country going to the dogs? Yes,
and the only survey
you should say that.
The only people who answer the survey are people who care passionately about it. So I guess they're more likely to have an extreme view.
Yeah, that is true. Sticking with the Times, it would be interesting, though, if America did actually split, wouldn't it? Because the trouble is, it isn't like left and right geophysically, is it? It's the middle and the coast. You would actually have to have like a big arch.
It'd be like Israel.
Yeah.